No, the title of this video is not clickbait. This thumbnail is not clickbait for an agenda. I am not lying when I say I truly believe that hell is not something external that we should believe that we go to when we die. I believe this whole time we in fact have been living in hell. I've been planning on making this video for some time now, but I had just been putting it off because I didn't know exactly how I wanted to say it. I didn't have a script or anything, but I feel like now the words come more clear than ever, especially in a time now where if you don't know, because it is so appalling to me that I have to live in my real life with people that don't know this information. This official documentation in the Epstein files that state that the people who run this world are eating babies and they are doing explicit things that I won't say because I don't want this video to get taken down. They are doing things to these children in the name of entities that are not from this world. Originally, this video had nothing to do with any of that, with this Epstein stuff, because that information just wasn't out. I was just going to talk about it with my spiritual point of view, which I still will in this video. But I just want to preface this video by saying that the people that are in power, the people that we look up to, the people that have control over so many things in our lives, they make sacrifices in the name of demons. And I want you to know that going into this video. This won't be as relevant to the rest of this topic because it's deeper than this. But I want you and everybody to know the people that run this world sacrifice and eat children. I want you to know that. With what I have just told you in mind, do your research because this is official documents that are out there. But that gives me the catalyst that I need to continue on with why the life that we live now is the lowest form of being. This world and the systems that are set in place, they are made for us to fail. You ever notice how in life you could do everything right, play by the book, and somehow you still get fucked over? You ever notice how all the bad people, the people that do the most heinous shit ever that you see in your waking life, they somehow still win? On top of that, you spend 13 years and even more of your life learning the education of this country. Education that is given to you that is not for you to be an entrepreneur, that's not made for you to break out of the system that's in place. It's made for you to be complacent and to be a worker. They don't teach you actual skills that you need in life, like how to manage your emotions. They don't teach you how to manage your money. They don't teach you how to be a boss. They teach you how to sit, write notes, do your work, do what's told of you, all in the pursuit of numbers that give you value, that you're told that gives you value. And after you graduate high school, the next step is college. And when you're in college, you are still studying shit that at the rate that we're moving at are jobs that will be taken over by AI. And after you finish getting that education at college, you are now in debt. You will not have to pay this debt well into your adulthood while you ended up at a job that you don't want to do. A job where you slave away and work for someone that's way above you, that doesn't value you as a person. And while you're slaving away, keep in mind, you are struggling to get basic necessities that you need to stay alive. You are struggling to pay rent. You're struggling to get groceries at times. Most people live in poverty because the cost of living is simply too high that you cannot live a life of satisfactory. And while this is going on, we have social media and the news, the biggest sources of information that makes us feel like shit. We are constantly seeing the most horrible things happen around the world, quite literally in the palm of our hands. And we consume this shit every single day. We see wars, we see crimes, we see terrorism. We are even now seeing the biggest scandal in the history of scandals in this country right now. There is always a constant agenda that is put in our faces, and all of this that we have in this third dimension, the TV, the social media, even in the music, even in the food, is all a fucking distraction to keep us as sheep. Because if your eyes are open, if your eyes are really open, you will come to realize that the people who run this shit has been throwing it in our face this whole time. They put symbolism in the media that we consume. They soft launch the different fucking diabolical things that they do behind closed doors, in shows, in movies. They soft launch that shit to us. And not only that, people spend their whole life chasing all the materialistic things that they programmed into us, that they made us think that was of value. We were made to believe that we have to chase money, women, cars, status. And it turns out that this whole time, these are simply just constructs that were made to keep us tethered to this world, because none of those things I just named and even more have any real value. And I think it's even worse for the women right now because women are on their phones more than men. And since social media is the biggest trap, like I've spoken about before, it affects them the most. Because now women have been programmed to care even more about their looks, their sex appeal, they care more about validation, and most women now are under the belief that they are the prize and men must submit to them, which now boosts people's egos and have people thinking that they're more than what they actually are. And notice now as well how much of an emphasis they've been putting on sexual content. You ever notice how within the last 20 years, we've been getting softcore porn in doses? You cannot open up Instagram without seeing a woman that's half naked. X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is a different story because they show full-on porn on that app. And the person who runs this app is Elon Musk, somebody that has been confirmed to be wanting access to Epstein's island. In emails, he's asking this man if he could come on his fucking island, and this is the man that runs Twitter, an app that shows the most pornographic content on any social media platform. And not to mention Grok AI, which is something that Elon Musk also made, that can also have the capability of generating AI pornography of anybody. And notice how, at a young age, they introduce us to capitalism and spending money and giving to these people in power through our video games. Look at Call of Duty and Fortnite. These were the main games that created microtransactions because they wanted young kids to get into the habit of spending money. And you notice how people caught onto it and called it predatory practices because that's what they were. And you ever notice that when something big comes out, there's always a new agenda that is set to distract everybody to get them onto the new thing. That's why we have trends on social media. That's why we have big, scary events go on. Because the people that control this shit are trying to deter us from going within. They put our attention on everything outside of us when in reality the answers are and always have been within. Because regardless of what any walk of life you believe in, whether you are religious or spiritual or atheist, I think the truth is that nobody has the answers to this shit but us. And we are living in a time right now where the world that we live in, the veil has now been lifted for those who are not aware. Things are now coming out in a way that is undeniable to what the truth of this world is. And that truth is that we live in hell. We live in the lowest vibrational place in the fucking universe, it feels like, that is plagued by people who do nothing but hurt, steal, lie, and cheat. People that are untouchable by any law because they're the ones that make the laws. And us, the common men, are now seeing this information and nothing is being done about it. And we've actually been living this information our whole lives. Through all the media that we consume and the traps that we've fallen into, it is exactly what they want. Because they want people to stay as sheep and not have the consciousness that they could be more. And that's why, in my opinion, I don't follow religion. Because the whole basis of these organized religions is to keep you looking outside. That you literally pray to external deities because you lack the tools to do it yourself. They put you in the mode where you need a savior. In the mode that you are broken, that you are a sinner, that you need to be fixed. When in reality, you're the only one that can save yourself in a world that is so absent of light. And I know people would disagree with me on that 100%. But I think the agreement that we could all make here is that this world is not what it seems. And I think that this is the only confirmation that all of us could come to where we could finally realize that there is a true spiritual aspect to this world. And this world that we have been living in is a fucking scam. And we've been playing in a game that doesn't reward us and only benefits the ones in control. And the only way to actually win in this fucking hell is by doing these same vile, heinous acts. Because when you live in a place with such a low vibration, it will reward such low frequency actions. So I'm asking you, whoever decided to watch this video, because I really just needed to get this off my chest, please stop living for this fucking world. Like, I don't know who's gonna watch this fucking video. I don't know whose shit this gonna pop up on. But all I'm saying is, for the love of whatever the fuck you believe in, stop living for this world, because everything that we love was made to destroy us and keep us trapped. So I'm urging you, break out of this, do your research, go within, find the answers from yourself, because everything that we've been consuming this whole time, if you really look into everything, has been made to keep us conditioned to be the lowest beings on earth, to the point that the people in power that are humans just like us see us as nothing but cattle. Which is why I feel like it is undeniable to me at least, that this is hell. Because a world where you are lied to and led astray does not sound like any type of positive, beautiful living. This is nothing but suffering, and it has been suffering this whole time. But we were led to believe in a fairy tale that they wanted us to believe. The world that we live in, this experience that we are having in the third dimension, is hell, and it always has been. But it's just now that everybody that has been seeing this is now having a consciousness shift, because it is coming out in an undeniable fashion. And we are at a point now where the people who have the lowest vibrations, the ones that are down, that are low, are the most susceptible to this negative energy and these negative forces that are at play. And the ones that are at the highest vibrations, the ones that have the highest frequencies, that don't let this shit get to them, are the ones that will be untouchable. And I want you to mark my words when I say that 2026 and 2027 are going to be years that will never be forgotten, because everything that we've known is about to change. And I want you all to be very aware of the agendas that is set about what you consume on the news and social media, because it is all a part of a agenda that they want you to go down the rabbit hole of. So just wake up. That's it. Because pretty soon it's going to be too late. And take that as you will. If you enjoyed this video and this style of content, feel free to subscribe, because I will be posting more videos like this. So thank you for watching.